distinguished professor and the director of the Center for Statistical Genetics at Penn State University. And he is currently the Zheng Siming Chair Professor of Yale Mathematical Science Center, Tsinghua University. His research interests include developing interdisciplinary statistical methods to reveal genetic control mechanism of complex traits and human complex disease. Now, please join me in welcome Professor Wu.
Thank you, but I need to point out some mistake. The title is quite different. I don't know where I did get this title. That's okay. That's okay. I will talk about nonlinearity issues. It's my current current project. So it's my great pleasure to share the results to you. And if you have any question, just please interrupt me anytime. The title is a quasi-dynamic system representation of multiple regression, nonlinear regression. We are in an era of big data. So what is big data? Data is huge, is dynamic, and growing very fast. So I use 5 ways to describe the feature of big data. First is big value. Second is wire velocity, and third is variety. Fourth is value, and last one is work record. So that's 5 we can very well describe the feature of big data. So with big data, we need more powerful tool to analyze such data. So more recently, the machine learning and the large language model and generative AI has been very well developed to handle big data. However, in my opinion, there are still some significant issues which has not resolved yet. For example, one characteristics of big data is high dimensionality with thousands of variables. Sometimes it's even millions of variables. Second characteristic is application of big data. We need infer causal relationship among variables. So we have huge amount of big data, variables. Each variable has interaction with each other. There's some cause and effect. So we need to identify the information flow among these big variables. Actually, causal inference is a foundation and our goal of science. So no matter which field you work on, physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, you always need to estimate causal inference. So causal inference is actually our goal to achieve. What is multilinear regression? I think everybody knows it's a traditional, fundamental approach for data analysis. I show you a very simple example. So if you want to study the symptom of cancer, so you will collect many samples from each cell within tumor. So you want to see which cell type or cell population contribute more significantly to cancer. So you collect data, will generate a table like this. like this. So with y is cancer symptom. For example, cancer tumor size, and x is sample cell type. Cell type. You want to see which cell type significantly contribute to tumor size, okay, tumor growth or tumor growth development. So you may construct a linear regression model. So you can study the impact of which cell type by a single linear regression and find which one is significant. Also, you can combine all cell types together to construct multi-linear regression like this. So by variable selection, you may select the subset of most significant variable that contribute to y. That's a traditional approach which we do. Everybody knows. Students and faculty knows that. So we develop the least square function. So use this function L equal the epsilon square summation. So you need to recognize this part is prediction, that is observation. We want to make this make difference, and square is a minimum. So you may just take differentiation with each variable and solve the function, regular function like this. And so you can combine all these in matrix. Matrix approach is always powerful, so you can handle high dimension data very quickly. So like this, so you write the matrix form for multi-linear regression like this: y, x, beta, and epsilon. Those are matrices or vector describe the variable and the coefficient of regression. So, and so it will turn out you can simply write the solution of the beta like this. So very quick, okay? Okay, so you can estimate the predicted value for each variable by use the estimate. So y hat, which is predicted value. And so you can also calculate the residual by the difference y from y hat. The least square estimate has very good parameters. The first parameter, which is unbiased estimate. So if you take an expectation of beta hat, you will find out which is exactly equal to beta. So which means least square estimation provides unbiased estimate. Unbiased. And the covariance matrices can be written as like this. So you can quickly calculate the information matrix and estimate the standard error of estimate. Okay? See, you can see the variance of estimate and the covariance between variables. And you can see like this. So this very good parameters make a least square widely useful in practice. In many different fields, you can see the use of multiple linear regression everywhere in each subject, from physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, environmental science, and so on and so forth. So, because we handle so many variables, each variable may contribute differently. I think most of the variable may be very minor, very trivial. In this point, so we need to incorporate variable selection to select the subset of most significant variables which contribute dependent variable y. The variable selection has many approaches, so such as ridge regression and variable selection, depending on the criteria you use. Also, the multi regression has a wide use in practice. That has significant limitations. I think first limitation is that can only handle linearity. However, nonlinearity is universal in nature. So in nature science, in the social science, the nonlinear relationship is happen everywhere. And if you handle many variables, reciprocal causality is very possible. So not x affect y, y may also affect x. So has reciprocal causality. So multiple regression model like this has no power to handle this issue. And lastly, the interaction between different variables may be not trivial. So I show you example to explain these three points. So here I use a diagram to demonstrate. So if you look at this plot, so you will see the y, the x. You can see traditional approach just use a linear regression model, linear. So looks like it's not fit very well. I would say it's underfitting. So if you try to connect all possible points together, so you may overfit. There is a best fit, just a right fit like this, which can best describe the relationship between y and x. Okay, so in some other case, the linear model has a limitation to classification. So the point blue, then the purple, the orange. So you can see if you have curve which can classify these two groups, but use a linear model which is not work very well, is underfit. But if you use like this, so you can manifold fault, so which may overfit. So we need to choose the best model which can fit the relationship between y and x. So in this example, you will see the lots x and one y. So linear regression model just think so the no interaction between between x, but in some situation the interaction may occur like this, and then that one is more friendly. The interaction play an important role to determine y. So we really need to combine that interaction between x to determine how they impact y. So in other words, we really need to consider the nonlinearity between x and y. So here is data structure we collected. So we have y n from n samples and p variables, px variables. So we generate the matrix like this. And classic linear regression model just y equal beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 and so on and so forth. So you may use this square to solve the estimate the regression coefficient. And you may incorporate model selection to choose the subset of most significant x using the range and the variable selection like lasso and so on and so forth. This model can be expanded to consider the interaction, nonlinear relationship. For example, you can incorporate like this: x squared is nonlinear, and all x1 by x2 is nonlinear. So it is a nonlinear regression model, but this is such type of nonlinear regression has difficult to explain. What explain how to explain x squared has impact y is not easy to interpret. And more importantly, we cannot incorporate current approach variable selection to select the most important variable here. We only can select the most significant variable based on linear model, not a nonlinear model. And the solution is difficult, right? So you can have the square and the products, which make you difficult to solve the estimate the parameters. So we propose a different way to handle this problem, which is a system approach. So we view each sample as a system which compose y and the number of independent variable. Okay, so we have n sample. That is n system. To describe the overall behavior of system, we take the summation of the value of all the value x. So we have x1, x2, xn. So each variable has relationship with the summation, which is called subject index, formulate the partial and whole relationship. That is whole. That is the part. So part-whole relationship can be described by power equation. This is a universal law. So I think you don't need to adopt this power law, because which has been proved from physics, biology, and biochemistry, and use lots of mathematics, even use a fractal model to explain why part-whole relationship can be fit by power law. That's a universal law. It's physics, and biology, and chemistry, and everywhere. It's even in social science. This power law is universal. Okay, so randomly pick up data. We find see whether or not this relationship can be fit by power law like this. So you can see exactly you can fit by power law. Each does present a gene, and the x-axis is subject index, that's individual gene expression. You can see they fit very well. Next, I just briefly describe how we can incorporate evolutionary game theory into the model to construct the couple of ordinary differential equations like this. And each variable play like a player in game. And the payoff of each variable can be divided by the payoff due to its own strategy, and a payoff due to the influence from other player. So you can see these two components. I call the first component independent component. Second is called dependent component. So by resolve this ordinary differential equation, you can combine graph theory to construct a network among variables. One thing I need to point out, so that is ordinary differential equation, but the derivative is not time. The derivative is subject index. So in this sense, we call this ordinary differential equation as quasi-dynamic ordinary differential equations. So which is different from classic ordinary differential equations. This ordinary differential equation has similar form with Legendre model, LV model. This model has been widely used in different fields. Ecology, I think it has wide application in computer design, even in computer design. The model originated from ecological study in the field. So by two scientists, one is a mathematician, other one is an ecologist in Europe, I think in Germany or in UK, and proposed in the 1930s. This model has a number of favorable mathematical parameters. So I think because of this, they have been widely used in practice. The model we derived similar to, but in principle they are quite different. My collaborator, Dr. Chris Griffin, take time to derive the mathematical properties of this model and find out lots very good favorable mathematical properties as well. So by this proof, you can safely use this model in many different situations. So you don't have a difficult time think about how we can use that. So you don't do that. You just use very safely. In sum, so we first conduct a quasi-dynamic ODE and like this. So we have two different terms. First term is independent term. The second is dependent term. So what is the mathematical form for these two terms? If you ask me this question, my answer is I don't know. So in other words, we can view this form as a nonlinear, any arbitrary form. So I bet likely there are nonlinear form. So if you solve this nonlinear differential equation, you may have very much hard time because the solution to this kind of equation has proved to be very difficult. But if we do some transformation, things will change. So just keep in mind, this term has been fit by power equations, right? So with a predict value x hat, y hat, x hat. And this just like a manifold fitting. That's very interesting. So by take the Legendre polynomial transformation, so you will see this nonlinear form quickly become a linear form, but with more parameters to be estimated. Here, if for the traditional class linear regression, so you need to estimate one parameter for each variable. But right here, you may estimate a set of parameters u. But no matter how many parameters you estimate for each variable, they are in linear term. So linear term make you very easy to estimate parameters, more precise, more quickly to estimate the parameters. So if you take the integral of this, so you will see y, see x and y expressed as a linear regression. So in summary, so originally we have a nonlinear form, but with the some transformation, so we got a linear form. Linear form can very well represent nonlinear form through this duration. So it turns out we just solve linear regression model, not nonlinear regression model. The problem can be described nonlinear regression model. Let's have example later on. So you can see the data structure I just copied from previous slides. And now we write multiple linear regression as following this one, which is different from traditional form, right? I think with this linear regression model, you can do many things. First, you can use least square. As I pointed earlier, least square estimate has many favorable parameters, right? If you have a form which can be resolved by least square methods, I highly recommend you do so, right? And additionally, this form is become a linear form, so you can incorporate a verb selection like group lasso to select the subset of most significant variables from Y, from number of Y. So just keep in mind, just penalty is L1 norm for lasso. So which is different from region regression. Region regression with penalty is based on L2 norm. So far, I think we make some significant breakthrough in linear regression modeling and analysis. So things will change much easier after we introduce this model. Let's use example to demonstrate this work. And I use cruise data from Meihua. Mei is on a metal wording plant. It's a symbol of Chinese culture. So you can lots of poem the press the Mei. So we measure the branch length and the branch diameter and see how height or length related to diameter grows. So if you see this plot, this single plot, you will well the diameter over time. So definitely its growth form can be described by growth function like this. So with A, B, R, that's traditional growth form. So you plot the height over time and the diameter over time. So you can see that they follow exact, they quite fit in the logistic curve. So, but the form of the curve are different between height and diameter. So you can imagine the height not linearly associated with the diameter. There may have non-linear relationship. So you collect data like this. So we can just pick up one point, a one-time point for height and diameter, collect n sample. So y for height, x for diameter. So we conduct how y related with x use. So with this sample, with the small example, so we take the mean, take the summation for each sample. So you will see the power equation fit data very well. So very well like this. And from here, so we may estimate the predicted value for each for x and also for y. So by plot height and diameter like this, so each point present example, a sample. So we have about 200 trees, 200 trees. So you can see height and diameter looks like follow linear relationship, but it's not exactly linear relationship, right? They may have best model to fit height against diameter. So if you use a traditional linear model, so the slash line like this here, but if we corroborate our model to analyze this data, you will see quite a few different the curve. So depending on which order you choose from Legendre polynomial, if you choose order 1, the purple line like this. The order 2, the curve like red, like this, and so on. So, and you will see which one is best to describe this relationship. So we incorporate information criteria like R squares, adjust R square, and AIC and BIC. You will find out that this you don't need to consider this one. You just consider adjusted R square and AIC, BIC. You'll find out. Let's see. The order 2 is best, right? Can you see? Which has the largest R, adjusted R square, and the minimum AIC and BIC. So which means the order 2 is best among these different orders. So let's go back this curve. You will see order 2 is best, just red. Okay, this one. Okay, so you can see that one can best describe height and diameter. The traditional linear regression model may not work well in this example, which demonstrate our approach outperform the traditional approach. Okay, let's just make a summary for my talk. Traditional linear model consider linearity. Our model consider nonlinearity. Nonlinearity is a universal phenomenon in nature, in society. So nonlinearity cannot avoid when you do data analysis. So, and also the traditional linear regression model consider sample as discrete point. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are discrete. But our approach can see the sample as continuous niche index. So this one is not true because we can make a prediction. So if you make the things more continuously varied, so you can make predict. If you just discrete one point, it's very difficult to make a prediction. And third, so computation, linear is model based on linear computation is very fast. But nonlinear relationship here doesn't mean our computation is a problem, because we transform nonlinear form into linear form. So make the computation is efficient as much as just the traditional linear model, right? So the advantages, the disadvantages of nonlinear model in computation does not happen in our model, for our model. And the traditional linear model can just explain can only just apply phenomenological observation. So may not make the mechanistic exploration. So in other words, the linear model, classical linear model, can only observe the phenomena, but cannot exploit the interworking under this phenomena. What causes this phenomena cannot investigate by traditional linear model. And last one, traditional linear model can only give the significant test, see what variable is significant at p equal 0.5, 0.05, and so on and so forth. That's it. But our approach incorporates first principle, just like power law into the model. So make our explanation more biologically, scientifically more relevant and very well justifiable. So the nonlinear model can be incorporated to classification. So we propose clustering approach. So clustering approach just group similar variables together based on the similarity or distance. Clustering approach has been widely used in practice as well, like linear regression model, very useful. So current approach mostly based on k-means or hierarchy clustering or Gaussian mixture model. So this model has significant limitations as described here. So for example, the dimension of variable is very high, usually very high or ultra high for the big data set. So k-math may not work very well because it's based on huge metrics. In that case, doesn't work very well. And secondly, once again, this no mechanistic principle has been implemented. So we try to implement mechanistic principle into the clustering approach, make this approach more biologically, more relevant and interpretable. Okay, that's our proposal here. So just like a data like this, okay, we generate the data. So we want to classify the those p variables into different groups based on the mixture model like this. I think audience here knows, but I just emphasize this model is very powerful. Computationally can be difficult, can be time consuming, but we can solve this issue with machine learning. Okay. Assume that each variable will belong to one of the cluster. Each cluster follows Gauss distribution. So with a mean vector like this, which can fit by power equation. And with the covariance matrix like this, covariance matrix has structure. So we may do not estimate all elements in the mix with the matrix. We just estimate the parameters which fit the structure of this matrix. For example, the first order structured AT-dependent model, or SD1, can be used to model the structure of matrix. So, of course, there are many other approaches. You can try the many different approaches and choose best one, which can just fit your data. Okay, so here is a brief procedure for EM algorithm, which developed to solve the parameters in mixture model. So with E and M step. This approach has advantages which we can assign each variable J into a specific group, specific cluster. Here is other example. So we can classify many different genes into different groups. So I think everybody knows, everybody did this. This one is analyzed by Jintang Ce. So use the modules and use the gene within modules or protein with modules, so you can construct the different layer of the network like this. And if you have huge amount of data, so I think you may construct a multi-layer, multiplex, multi-function network for like this. So on the surface, each gene or protein will project in the surface. So you can see the information flow from each node, gene or protein, go through different way to other genes. So you can see the information flow and the information propagation to see the overall picture of how each gene or protein interact with every other gene or protein to shape the overall systems. So this model can be easily extended to many different situations. One is higher order interaction. So just like this, so these two parts have been discussed before. So we can add one more term, which is interaction between different variables. How interaction determines why. So you can incorporate interaction in the regression model to estimate how interaction determine why. Because time limitation, I may not have time to explain in detail, but I suggest you to think about the question if you are interested, so we can talk further. So overall, so we are in time of big data. So big data come to our life everywhere, even every minute. So too many data is dynamic, is heterogeneous, is a huge amount, high value. And how we can handle this data? So our model statistically can construct the network using this data. So like this, so you can see the very complex network. And how to activate the network, as you know, so I collaborate Professor Jie Wu to incorporate the topology to dissect the topological architecture and function of the network. So this diagram demonstrates how topology can be used to dissect the topological architecture. So I think the model we develop can likely incorporate to AI. So the core of AI is machine learning. Just by imputing process data, AI can recognize behavior patterns and errors in which it thinks, acts, and responds, just like a real life human. Okay, so it may like this way. So input data, ingesting data here. So you can go through different layers. Each layer may transform the data from previous layer by jump function. So you by go through different layers, you will find the output layer. Output layer generally is classification or prediction, just two functions like this. So so can in each step you have statistics, and from one layer to next layer, this information flow is driven by a linear model currently. But I think if we can incorporate nonlinear relationship right here, can we get a better results? Can we promote the AI technology? So I don't know yet, but these things we need. I think this is an open question. which we can explore further. Is a deserved question, I think. So in the year to come, we will work on this field and see what we can promote the AI development. Okay, so see, so actually this point has been explained. So so one thing, and the second thing is the language model is large, become larger and larger. Large language model required considerable the computation power, which may not made in practice. Is money consuming in the electricity consuming. So we may not such amount of electricity to support the AI. How we can do that? I think functional cluster, as I explained previously, can classify all variables into different modules. So each module has a small amount of data. So that data can easily use a neural network to make the prediction or classification, right? So this one I also have been thinking about, and I hope we can make it happen. So in summary, so nonlinear model may play important role to transformation from one layer to next layer. That's one. Second one application is we can classify a huge amount of variable as input into different module. So we calculate each smaller module, so we get good results with less amount of computation power, which can save money, save power, but we get similar results. So these two issues deserve further investigation. I think so. We have made significant contribution to statistical modeling of big data by proposing nonlinear regression model. Traditional linear model should have to be shifted to nonlinear form because nonlinearity is a universal phenomenon. So it's a general phenomenon, cannot avoid. So classical regression model based on discrete sample. Here we incorporate the power equation, make data to be continuously varied. So our model just become the dynamic model. I think if you have dynamic model, many advanced mathematical approaches can be used. So make your statistical inference more powerful, more efficient, and also more precise. Traditional classic linear regression model is based on significant test, p-test, significant test, just estimate the p-value for each variable. But in practice, this is very hard to interpret, and more difficult to incorporate into practical medicine or agriculture. To overcome this issue, so we need a mechanistic explanation of what's going on among variables. So our model can explore mechanistic basis of how each variable interacts with the other variable in very complex system. So this kind of results can provide you with mechanistic understanding of complex system. Okay, Oh, that's one. So classic linear regression model does not consider interaction between different variables. But here we can easily extend to consider all type of interaction in the model without difficulty in computation. So that's really an important important shift from the non-interaction to interaction. And in philosophy, our model can provide more powerful thinking about data analysis by incorporate element of different discipline. So we propose a model at interdisciplinary interplay. We incorporate evolutionary game theory, ecological community theory, and graph theory, and statistical theory, and mathematical theory into put them together into unified framework. I call such a unified framework a new form of statistical mechanics, or physics, or statistical physics. Okay, statistical mechanics has been used in the random stochastic process. I think the new form of statistical mechanics we propose can be used to study the dynamic system. In next years, so we are thinking about how incorporate statistics with other mathematical model. As I proposed yesterday, so we are very interested in incorporate yaw-yaw nonlinear filter into statistical modeling of data. Preliminary results is quite promising. By more work, we can have a good shape to move the field forward. And we also want to incorporate computational conformal geometry, which pioneered by Professor Yao and his students. So this idea can be used to classify imaging into different modules. Image analysis has been very important to diagnose of cancer and other disease. So we may play important role to incorporate the computational conformal geometry into the image analysis. Even I have ambitious dream that is incorporate Calabi-Yau manifold into the statistical multi-space, multi-functional, multi-layer data like this. So each layer presenting a space like gene, protein, metabolic, and microbe, and phenotype, and so on and so forth. So construct entire system for human health. So that is difficult. I know it's difficult, but through our tremendous effort, this may be happen. Okay. I quite appreciate the environment given at Beijing Institute of Mathematical Science and Application, BIMSA. And so we have very good resources to perform study you are interested. I'm currently collaborating with Professor Wu, who is a mathematician. So his group and our group can work together to solve complex problems by developing powerful statistical model and a mathematical model. So we have a number of members in this complex, the cooperative team, in the disciplinary team. So I need to point out one good news. This guy just got the first place prize for undergraduate research. So he got a certificate of prize given by Professor Yao last yesterday event. He's excited and take a picture with me when we celebrate each other. That's good. So I hope more people will get impressive award and prize and grow into influential scientist. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your insightful talk. And now we will open floor for questions.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for your great talk. So on the slide that you were, you went through nonlinear to linear differential equation. You applied your statistic model. You said you designed a nonlinear differential equation similar to local Volta, if I'm correct. Is that right?
That's right.
So that means your model. I mean, that nonlinear differential equation has a specifics that your model can work on that special model, or it can be, it can work on, other models as well. I mean, I'm just gonna know that nonlinear model has specifics that can be about. That's one question.
Okay.
And I'll ask another question after.
Okay. So only one question. Okay. If you use one sentence to describe our model, I will say like this. We develop a linear model to solve nonlinear problem.
So it doesn't matter what's that nonlinear.
Doesn't matter the problem is linear or nonlinear at different degrees. So we can use linearized representation of the model to solve that. Just from basic idea is summary in this slide. Okay.
And so when you have big data and then you try to design a differential nonlinear differential. So I don't know. I mean, it's like a inverse problem, right? So have you ever thought about, I don't know, models like methods like physics informed neural networks, things like that, or Cindy, things like this?
First of all, so if you consider many variable, large data, so the model will be modified first by classify all data into modules. Each module has a smaller number of variables, which may help you analysis quickly because the variable number has been reduced dramatically. So this model developed here can handle any number of variables. The good thing is it's depending on sample size, but not that much depend on sample size, because we make the discrete sample to be continuous. So if you have continuous data, so you can make new estimate predict value. So you can add more value into the model. So that will help you solve the issue of small sample. I don't know if you understand what I say. That one is so I think will be important in practice because in many situations you cannot get many samples. You can get many data, but you cannot get many samples. For example, if we want to study human tissues, so you cannot get many samples from humans. You can only get the dying humans. The alive humans cannot do that. Cannot do that. So in this project, so we can only limit number of samples. Each sample may have huge amount of data, huge amount of variables. How we can analyze such data? This model can help you do so. It's quite powerful. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions or comments? Well, if we have no more questions, let's thanks Professor Wu again.